Hi, I'm Chris Shelton with Shelton Qigong. Welcome to 30 Days of Qigong to Better Health. I'm so excited. Today is day number 3, and we're going to be working with brushing the meridians. What are the acupuncture meridians? The meridians of the body are like rivers, and these rivers feed into the internal organs, which are considered lakes. So just like in nature, if there's too much water flowing through a river, what will happen is that river will then flood the lake, and that lake will then invade another lake. Same thing happens in the body. I'm going to use the liver for example. If there's too much qi flowing through the acupuncture meridian for the liver, then what will happen is that liver energy will actually overflow its boundaries and invade, let's say, the stomach, for example. So a person may have symptoms of like acid reflux, GERD, bloatedness, etc. On the other hand, let's say if there's not enough water flowing through a river to feed into the lake, then the lake eventually becomes diseased. And a fine example of that in Chinese medicine would be if there's not enough energy flowing through the spleen meridian, then what will happen is the spleen will become deficient, will become weak, and then what will happen is that we'll start to see certain diseases like maybe like prolapses, where the organ actually falls out of place, chronic bloody noses, and craving food, diabetes. Diabetes is actually considered an exhaustion type disease. But so anyways, when we're stimulating these acupuncture meridians, it actually helps to benefit the internal organs of the body. And this is a great practice to start off your day, just to get these channels opened up and ready to go. Because when the channels are opened up, then the rest of the organism actually benefits. So what's going to happen is that I'm going to go through our regular practice that we have done over the last 2 Qigong practices that we've done. And we're going to start off with the 3 Qi clearing exercises, and then I'm going to walk you through a center and balance meditation. And then from there, what's going to happen is that we're going to go into the brushing the meridians. Now, there's 2 different ways to do this, and what's great is that, once again, what I love about Qigong is that it does not discriminate against race, gender, whether you're handicapped or not handicapped. Anybody could do this kind of stuff, I should say, these types of practices. So what's going to happen is that whether you're seated or standing, the first one, we're going to start by brushing the yang meridians on the outside of the arms, come up over the top of the head, and down through the outside of the body. This is where the yang channels flow, and roll up on the bottom of the feet. Release, inhale, up the yin channels, crossing over, brushing the yin channels of the arms. Okay, so the outside of the body is considered yang, so it protects those delicate yin organs on the inside of the body. So as I flow down here, then I'm going to inhale, come up, and exhale. So the acupuncture meridians on the outside of the arms consist of the large and small intestine, and also what is known as the triple burner. We'll get into what the triple burner is later on. And then as I flow down the outside of the body, then I'm going to be brushing the stomach, the gallbladder, and the bladder meridians, stimulating those. And then their yin organ counterparts on the inside of the leg, I'm going to be working with the kidneys, the spleen, and the liver. On the inside of the arms, I'll be working with the heart, lungs, and the pericardium, which is the membrane that encompasses the heart. So I'm going to inhale over, and then I'm going to gently come down, release, inhale, pull that energy up, crossing over, and then we're going to brush the inside of the arms and let go. Now, that's one way to do it. If it seems a little bit too complicated for you, we're going to do a second way. We have a second method in order to teach this practice. It's very simple, and all we're going to do is cup the hands, and we're going to start off with the arms. Now, what's interesting is that on the yin channels, the energy flows up, and on the yang channels, the energy flows down. So on the legs, energy flows down, and then on the yin channel of the legs, the energy flows up. So that's going to be the same direction that we're going to pat. So we're going to gently cup the hands, and we're going to begin to gently pat like this, stimulating the yang channels on the outside, stimulating the yin channels on the inside. Very simple practice to do. If you have a cough or a cold, you could actually pat the lung channel, the lung points. Lung 1 and 2 is here, and then the channel comes down to the thumb. So we go here. Okay, so, and then from there we're going to switch it over and then do this side. Okay, and then from there, then we're going to go ahead and do the legs. Now bend over as far as you could go. This is not a exercise where you have to, if you have a low back problems or if you're stuck in a seated position, let's say you're in a wheelchair, bend over as far as you can go. Your body will still benefit from the mind intent of trying to pat and stimulate these meridians. So as I come down, I come up and around. You can actually pat harder also, especially on the yang side of the channels, and a little bit softer on the inside as you come up. Good. And then we're going to finish by pulling down the heavens 3 times, just to close off, collect ourselves, and then release out any toxicity that was released from doing the practice. So let's begin. So from here, let's take a look at our Wuji posture. So just as a reminder with the Wuji posture, our feet are out about shoulders width apart, our toes are pointing straight ahead, and then from here what's going to happen is I'm going to gently bend the knees. Now this is not a thigh building exercise, but just from the unlocked position, I'm going to gently bend the knees, and then from there I'm going to go ahead and tuck the sacrum underneath. There's an acupuncture point right opposite the navel called the Ming Men, so I'm going to push back that point. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and gently hollow out the shoulders, hollow out the armpits, so like you have balloons resting underneath the armpits, which then will make it appear like you have balloons resting on your thighs and your hands are gently floating on the thighs. So I'm pressing back that acupuncture point, that Shen Dao point in between the shoulder blades. And then from there, I'm going to gently tuck the chin. By tucking the chin, I press up at the crown point. And then from there, the tip of the tongue gently curls to the roof of the mouth behind the teeth, as if saying the letter N. So say the letter N, and we'll get into the importance of this with our next week's practice when we do the small heaven breathing exercise. So from here, tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth. My breathing is long, steady, even and deep into the lower abdomen, trying to pull that breath into the lower dantian, 1 inch below the navel, and we want the dantian to expand and contract with each inhalation and exhalation. This takes a little bit of practice to do, and one of the things you do is that white pearl meditation, lay down on the couch or when you're going to bed at night, and just practice placing the hands on the lower abdomen, 1 inch below the navel, and as you inhale, feel the breath fill up into the abdomen. And then as you exhale, you're going to feel the abdomen contract. Okay? So the breath is long, steady, even, and deep. And then the third regulation is using our mind intent. So from here, we're going to begin in our Wuji posture, pulling down the heavens 3 times. Inhaling, exhaling, inhale, exhale, allowing for the white light to cool, cleanse, purify the body, getting yourself ready to start to transform your life from the inside out. And then from there, I'm going to bring the arms up, inhaling, exhale as though I'm tossing a stone, inhale, exhale as I'm tossing a stone. Now going at your own pace, and what we want you to do is, I want you to gaze at the tips of the fingers and allow for any excessive thoughts, feelings, or emotions to flow off, going several feet away from the body and down deep into the ground. Notice how I'm using my weight from the left leg to the right to pump the blood, the qi. And all the breathing is done through the nose, tip the tongue still to the roof of the mouth behind the teeth. And they say that by breathing through the nose, we help to regulate the flow of qi better. And if you have a hard time imagining what qi is, just imagine it as blood or fluids, or you can imagine it as a certain color light. There are certain colors that are related back to the internal organs in Chinese medicine, but you can imagine any color light you want for this particular practice. As I'm tossing the stone here, I'll imagine that the negative thoughts, feelings, and emotions actually are a dark cloud of energy that flows several feet away from the body and down deep into the ground. If you have any tension in the shoulders, allow for that to roll off the fingers, shifting the weight back and forth. And if at any point you feel dizzy, tired, and you're standing, get tired of standing, please sit down. This is not one of those practices where we want to push through discomfort. We want your mind to be as quiet as possible so you get the most out of the practice. And if your legs are getting tired, it'll tend to distract you. So just flowing along here. Inhale, exhale. So maintaining my Wuji posture as I do this. And then from there, we're going to slow down, coming back to the center and pulling down the heavens again 3 times. Inhale, exhaling, inhale, and exhale. 3rd time, inhale, and exhale. Okay, the next practice, we're going to bring the feet a little bit closer together. They don't have to be right next to each other. That could create a balance problem. Bring the feet a little bit closer together. Relax the knees, relax the hips, the waist, relax the shoulders. What's going to happen is that we're going to begin to lightly bounce on the balls of the feet. Now, this is not a calf building exercise, so I should not see that the people are doing this. I don't want that. It's a little bit too much work. Let's keep it nice and gentle, nice and easy. So it's a gentle bouncing sensation. And with this gentle bouncing sensation, what will happen is that you'll close your eyes, and then we're going to focus on the major joints of the body, because energy or chi tends to get stuck in the joints, especially as we get older or if we're not moving as much. So from here, focusing on the ankles, allow for any tension in the ankles to release out through the bottom of the feet and down deep into the ground. Next, we're going to focus on the shoulders, any tension, discomfort. I'm jumping ahead of myself here. Forgot about the knees and the hips. So let's go back to the knees. Focusing on the knees, if there's any tension or tightness in the knees, allow for that to release out through the bottom of the feet and down deep into the ground. Next, focusing on the hips, back, groin. If you have any pain or tightness in these areas, just allow for this gentle shaking, bouncing to release all that stagnation as a dark cloud of energy, and using your mind intent, guiding it out through the legs, out through the feet, and deep into the earth. Next, the center of the back and chest, especially on the spine and between the shoulder blades, where we tend to hold tension in that upper back, which a lot of times is emotionally related. So here, if you feel any tension on that part of the spine, the thoracic spine, allow for this gentle shaking to release that. Or if you feel any emotions that have affected your heart, allow for that to release out through the body, out through the feet, and deep into the ground. And then next, your fingers and wrists. If you have carpal tunnel, arthritis of the wrist or the fingers, just want to shake that out, keeping your structure relaxed, and allow for that dark energy to flow down, out through the fingertips and down deep into the ground. And then from there, the elbows, any tension in the elbows, tightness, releasing that out through the fingers and deep into the earth. Shoulders, head and neck, any stagnation, tension, discomfort, just allowing for all that to release out through the arms, out through the fingertips. It's a dark cloud of energy flowing down deep into the earth. And then from there, we're going to stop bouncing, and What's going to happen next is that we're going to inhale, rolling up on the balls of our feet. Imagine golden light flowing through the body beyond the top of the head. Exhale. And dropping that dark, heavy energy deep into the ground. Inhaling. And exhaling. And again, inhaling. Using your mind intent. Exhaling. Good. And then we gently start bouncing again, going through the sequence again. Using your mind intent and using colorization, like in this case here, imagining a black cloud as the toxicity in the body, and just by tuning into your body and by using your mind intent, it's surprising or shocking to me just how much you could actually release. Just like they say, what you think about, you bring about in your day-to-day life. The same thing happens when you're doing Qigong. Whatever mind intent practice you need to use in order to help you cleanse, we utilize that. So, focusing on the ankles, releasing out through the feet, the knees, releasing out any tension from there, the hips, back, low back, releasing out any tension from there, center of the spine, tension on the thoracic spine between the shoulder blades, releasing out any tension or tightness out through the body, through the feet, deep into the earth, next to the fingers and wrists, elbows, shoulders, head and neck, releasing out all the tension, discomfort, stagnation from these major joints of the body to release and free up the flow of energy, guiding out through the fingers and down deep into the ground. And then from there, we're going to stop bouncing, then we're going to inhale and exhale, dropping down, inhale, and exhale, and inhale, and releasing, and then pulling down the heavens 3 times, inhaling, exhale, again, releasing out any excess heat or vibration from the body, and again, inhale, and release. And the next clearing exercise is one of my favorite ones. I really love this practice. From here, we're going to step out a little bit wider stance here, just loosen things up a little bit, because the key with this practice is that you have to relax in order to shake it off, like Taylor Swift says. Just shake it off. Okay, so from here, we're going to relax the wrists, we're going to relax the shoulders, the chest, the legs, the hips, everything all the way down into the ground. As we inhale, we pull the energy up, exhaling, releasing out, inhaling up, releasing all that tension in the body, getting in an argument with somebody, releasing that vibration. So that way we don't store it in our tissues. And again, inhaling. And 2 more, inhale. And then from there, pulling down the heavens 3 times, inhale. Exhaling. Connecting to your higher power, whatever that may be. Or just imagine a white light of energy that flows down through the body, out through the feet. Cooling, cleansing, purifying. And then from here, going off of last week's practice, we're going to go ahead, or day number 2's practice. We're going to go ahead and begin by standing in our Wuji posture. Eyes are closed, tip of the tongue still gently curled to the roof of the mouth behind the teeth. Breath long, steady, even and deep into the lower abdomen, lower dantian. And from here, you could just imagine like warm oil that begins to pour down through the front of your body, increasing your awareness of what's in front of you, starting with the forehead, enveloping the brow bone, the eyebrows, the temples, the eyes, the cheeks, the nose, the lips, the chin, the jaw. Flowing down, relaxing the tissues of the body into the neck and throat, upper chest and shoulders. Now allow for this warm oil to melt down into the biceps, elbow creases, forearms, wrists, palms of the hands leading all the way out to the fingertips. Still keeping a strong connection between heaven and earth, allow for this warm oil now to penetrate and melt down and envelop the chest. Feel every crease, every cell, every tissue as it wraps around through the armpits, the flanks of the body, and into the abdomen, flowing through the waist and into the groin, enveloping the thighs, now the knees and the shins, the ankles, feet and toes, all connecting, all flowing off deep into the ground. And from there, feel the entire front of your body, making yourself mindfully aware of what's in front of you, connect to what's in front of you. And now feel what's to the left and what's to the right. Increasing our mindfulness of our body. And now we focus on the back, flowing down through the back of the scalp, the back of the head. You feel and visualize the back of the ears. This warm oil now floats into the neck and the shoulders, and it goes into the triceps and elbows, the back of the forearms, the wrists, the back of the hands, leading all the way out to the fingertips. And from there, enveloping the upper back, the mid-back, the low back, the energy flows through the waist, through the buttocks, through the hamstrings, through the back of the knees, the calves, the ankles, heels, feet and toes, and you feel all this warm oil drift off deep into the ground. And from there, feel what's behind you, what is going on behind you. Feel the entire back of the body from head to toe. And from there, connecting now to your higher power. And this time we want to visualize and feel what's inside of ourselves. Imagine white light now penetrate into the brain and surrounding tissues. The skull, the inner ear, behind the eyes, feel the nerves from behind the eyes. They connect to the center of the brain, the sinuses, the cheekbones, the jaw, the teeth, the tongue, gums. Feel the brain stem. Visualizing and feeling inch by inch, cell by cell, tissue by tissue, everything inside your body. Every vertebra from the base of the skull down through the center of the neck and throat. Branching off, you feel the muscles, the arteries of the neck and throat, and flowing into the shoulders. Feel and visualize the bones and muscles of the shoulders, upper back, biceps, triceps, the center of the elbows, the center of the forearms, the wrists, palms of the hands, back of the hands, leading all the way out to the center of the fingertips. Feel all the ligaments, all the bones. And then from there, this white light now penetrates into the ribs. Feel each rib. Feel the vertebra on the back. Feel the ribs as they wrap around to connect to the vertebra on the spine. And then from there, you visualize and feel the heart, the lungs. Feel your liver and gallbladder on the right side of the body, the stomach and spleen on the left side, flowing down into the intestines, the kidneys on the low back right opposite the navel, the urinary bladder right above the pubic bone, flowing down into the hips, the sacrum, the muscles of the waist and hips, the femurs, the muscles surrounding them, the bones of the legs. The femoral arteries, the main arteries that travel down the inner aspect of the legs, extending and nourishing to the extremities of the feet and toes. And then from there into the knees, into the center of the shins and calves. Now getting into the ankles and all the small bones of the ankles, the metatarsals, the bones of the feet, the ligaments, leading all the way out deep into the ground. And then from there, like you're standing on a sea of liquid energy, you imagine that your feet are going to melt into the floor. And then from there, from the bottom of the feet, imagine roots growing all the way out to the center core of the earth. As you inhale, you imagine this golden light coming up into the abdomen as you inhale. Then as you exhale, pushing out any dark turbid chi deep into the ground. And if it helps you, you could actually use your hands as you inhale, pulling this golden light up, exhaling, pushing down, inhaling up, exhaling, pushing the energy down, getting rid of the toxicity inside the body. Inhale, long breath, deep, steady, being mindful of your body, using your mind intent. And releasing. Inhale, pulling the golden light up. And then as you exhale, pushing out any stagnation or toxicity you feel you may have in your body, flowing out through the bottom of the feet and flowing down deep into the ground. Inhale. And last one, exhale. Doing one more. Inhale. And exhale. And then from there, finish by pulling down the heavens 3 times, inhaling, collecting your energy back. And if your mind tends to wander, that's okay. We just pull it back. The more you can pull yourself back to your center, back inside your body and out of your head, the more practice you have with that, the better you become at it. The more you do this meditation, the feeling inside and outside your body, the more conscious you become of your body. And then from there, starting by brushing, we are going to inhale, brushing through the yang meridians on the outside of the arms, going through the yang channels of the head and face, down through the outside, exhaling, and inhale, come up, crossing over the groin, brushing the yin channels, inhale, brushing over, releasing, coming up, crossing over, brushing the yin channels of the arms now. So as we inhale, this particular brushing exercise reminds me kind of the Macarena. Aside from that, just releasing out and throwing that dark, heavy energy into the ground. And then from here, brushing the heart, lungs, and the pericardium. On the outside of the arms, we're brushing the large and small intestine as well as what is known as the triple burner. Then we come over to the gallbladder, the bladder channel, the stomach meridian as we flow down. Yin channels of the legs, we have the liver, kidneys, and spleen. Get up on the inside of the arms, heart, lungs, and pericardium. Just feel the breath, exhaling, long, steady, even, and deep. And inhale. Here, inhaling, brushing the channels. Once again, stimulating the channels that feed into the body, which connect to the internal organs. Also stimulating the smaller collaterals of the body. And then from here, the connecting points to the inside of the body, connecting points to other organs. Inhaling. Exhale. And in. Okay, let's do one more. Inhale. Coming over. And inhale. And release. Okay, now the other way we're going to do this, we're going to go ahead and cup the palm. Like I said, the energy of the yang channels tends to flow down. The energy of the yin channels tends to flow up. So from here, we're going to begin to pat. Stimulating these channels. You may find this one more simplified to do. Qigong should be a simple practice. We have a saying that Qigong is a simple practice with profound results. So whatever way you connect with the most, we give you a couple of different options to simplify the practice so that way you can be more mindful of your body and the practice that you're doing. Switch. Again, the yin channels, heart, lungs, pericardium, outside, large, small intestine, triple burner channels. Stimulating those. Good way to start off the day, just patting these channels, making the body become alive. And then the legs here. Coming down through the yang channels of the legs, up the yin channels, and the inside of the legs. The outside of the legs, you have the stomach, gallbladder and bladder. Inside the legs, spleen, kidneys, and liver. And one more. Now I feel really alive. Okay, from here, just collect energy back. Last time, 3 times. Inhale for heaven. 3 treasures. Earth. And then the third pole for mankind. This image can be represented by the Taiji symbol, encompassing yin and yang, and the Wuji. And then from there, placing the hands on the lower dantian, 1 inch below the navel. As you inhale, imagine a white mystical pearl forming underneath the hands. As you exhale, allow for this white pearl to fill up and restore the kidneys on the low back. Inhaling, the white pearl becomes thicker and brighter. Exhale, feel it restore the kidneys on the low back. And again. So as the pearl gets thicker and brighter, imagine the energy of the room filling up into the pearl, that as you exhale, that warmth from the white pearl that radiates into the kidneys, restoring its vitality. We need as much replenishment, tonification for the kidneys as possible. The kidneys is one organ that tends to be always deficient in Chinese medicine. It's our battery, so we have to slow down the usage of this battery. And last one. And release. Wow, so now you should feel really good. We just completed this Qigong practice of what we've referred to as brushing the meridians. Again, it's just a great way to start off your day. And like I said before, it doesn't matter what time of day you do the practice. Yes, there's some ideal times to do Qigong practices, but to me, anytime you could break away just to do any of these guided meditations or moving meditations like the brushing or the clearing exercises like we started off with, this will definitely help your overall well-being and benefit the quality and quantity of your life. My name is Chris Shelton. Thank you once again with Shelton Qigong. We have a saying here at Shelton Qigong that Qigong is a simple practice with profound results.